Hey, welcome back. I was scrolling through my phone the other day, just a regular Tuesday evening here in New York, and I saw it again. A video of someone, a barista maybe, just quietly making a latte, and the caption reads, "Me, just trying to steam milk, thinking about the Roman Empire." And the comments are full of people, thousands of them, saying "so true," or "this is me at least 3 times a week." And I have to laugh, but it also makes me pause. Why does this feel so universal right now? Why does a political entity that fell over 1,500 years ago have such a grip on our modern imagination? I'm Ibnul J. Farabi, and this is The Great Conversation. Today, we're untangling episode 21, The Roman Empire Meme, why we're still obsessed with imperial collapse. Let's start with the meme itself. It's simple, almost deceptively so. The format is just a question, usually posed by a woman to her male partner. How often do you think about the Roman Empire? The revealed answer is always surprisingly often. And the internet, being the internet, ran with it. But here's the first layer to peel back. This isn't really just about Rome. The meme works because it points to a genuine, widespread fascination. It's a cultural inside joke that acknowledges a shared historical obsession. We're not laughing because it's absurd. We're laughing because it's true. There's a gravity well in our collective consciousness, and Rome sits right at the center of it. So why Rome? Why not the Ming Dynasty, or the Mali Empire, or the Abbasid Caliphate? All of which were magnificent, complex, and influential in their own right. Part of it, of course, is the sheer footprint. The Roman Empire shaped the architecture of our cities, the structure of our laws, the very languages we speak. From the sewers under London to the Senate in Washington, D.C., its ghost is literally built into our foundations. But that's the practical, tangible legacy. Our obsession, I think, runs deeper. It's about the narrative. Rome gives us the most complete, most dramatic, and most disturbingly familiar arc of rise and fall in Western history. It's a story with a clear beginning, a glorious middle, and an end that wasn't a bang, but a long, complicated, and terrifying whisper. And that's where the real hook is, the fall. We are mesmerized by collapse. Edward Gibbon understood this when he spent decades writing the history of the decline and fall of the Roman Empire in the 18th century. He wasn't just cataloging events. He was trying to diagnose a sickness. He saw in Rome a mirror for his own enlightened age, a warning about what happens when civic virtue decays, when institutions become brittle, when a society loses the thread of what held it together. We are doing the exact same thing today. When we look at Rome, we aren't just looking at legions and emperors. We're looking for clues. We're running a diagnostic scan on our own civilization, searching the past for symptoms we recognize in our present. Think about the themes of the Roman decline. Political polarization? Check. The late Republic was torn apart by populists and oligarchs, by the Gracchi brothers and Sulla's prescriptions. Economic inequality? Staggeringly so. A reliance on imported grain and a shrinking class of citizen farmers. Information decay and public distrust? Absolutely. The transition from republic to empire was paved with propaganda, with leaders crafting their own images, with a populace increasingly disconnected from the levers of power. And then there's the external pressures, the sense of borders straining under the weight of migration and conflict. It's all uncomfortably familiar. Our obsession is a form of historical rubbernecking. We see the crash, and we can't look away because the vehicles look an awful lot like our own. But there's a personal layer here, too, at least for me. As an immigrant, as someone who built a life across continents from my birthplace in Bangladesh to this engine of a city, New York, I see another, more intimate story in Rome. It's a story about identity. What does it mean to be Roman? At its height, it wasn't just an ethnicity. A Spaniard, a Syrian, a North African. They could all rise through the ranks, become citizens, even emperors. The empire was an idea, a system you could buy into. And then, as it fragmented, that idea shattered into 1,000 local loyalties. That search for a unifying identity in a vast, diverse, and often fractious collective, that feels profoundly modern. We're all trying to figure out what holds us together now, in our own sprawling, digital, globalized world. Rome shows us both the possibility and the fragility of that project. The literary and historical analysis of Rome's fall is never just about dates and battles. It's a Rorschach test. Every generation projects its own anxieties onto the blank parchment of the past. The Victorians saw moral decay. The Cold War era saw imperial overstretch. Today, we see network failure, institutional collapse, and climate stress. Yes, some historians even point to volcanic eruptions and pandemics as factors in Rome's instability. We are, in a way, using Rome as a safe sandbox to simulate our own fears. It's a catastrophic thought experiment that already happened, so we can study all the variables without the immediate terror of living through the conclusion. So, what's the takeaway from all this? Why should we lean into this obsession, rather than just chuckle at the meme and scroll on? I think it's because the story of Rome, in its entirety, denies us easy answers. There was no single cause. It wasn't just the barbarians, or just the lead pipes, or just a bad emperor. It was a complex system failing in complex ways. And in that, there's a strange comfort. It tells us that civilizational resilience isn't about one thing going right, but about a million things holding together. It tells us that decline is a choice made 1,000 times over, in small ways and large. And conversely, so is preservation. So is renewal. The next time you see that meme, or catch yourself wondering about aqueducts or legionary tactics, don't dismiss it as a random thought. That's you, participating in the great conversation across time. You're holding up a piece of a 2,000-year-old mosaic and trying to see where it might fit into the picture we're making today. We are haunted by Rome because it asks the hardest questions we can ask ourselves. What makes a society great? What makes it fail? And what, in the end, do we want to leave behind? Thanks for listening. I've been Ibnul J. Farabi, and this has been The Great Conversation, a production of Light Knot Studios. If this exploration of history and ideas resonated with you, please share the episode with someone who also thinks about empires, memes, or why our past feels so urgently present. For more, visit our home at lightknotstudios.com. Until next time, keep listening, keep questioning.